All right, lots going on with this question. Essentially, I was asked to give some help with finding the distance between a pair of points. So we're going to need the distance formula, which is what we have right here. And so as we do that, we are looking at, what are x sub 2 and x sub 1 and so on like that. D obviously stands for distance. That makes sense, but let's see what this is. So we have a coordinate point here and another one here, and coordinate points are always written as xy. Shouldn't say always, but pretty much always. Okay, so we have the first one. So this is our first x and our first y. And then we have the second one. So this is our second x and our second y. And so as we plug into the formula, we are just going to substitute values. So we have something minus something squared plus something minus something squared. Now I copied that from right here. And those somethings are what we're going to pull from those coordinate points. Okay, so it says the second x minus the first one. So the second x is a -2, and the first one is a -1. So since it's minus -1, I know is +1. So I'm not even going to write minus negative. I'm just going to go ahead and put minus and make it plus. All right, now it says subtract the second y. So that's 1 minus the first y, which is 0. Okay, so now we're ready to start sort of cleaning this up. So -2 plus 1, I know is -1. So I'm going to say this is -1 squared. And 1 minus nothing, right? We take nothing away from it. It's still 1 squared. And so we essentially have the square root of -1 times or -1 times -1 is 1. And 1 squared is 1. And that is the square root of 2. And that's the answer to this question. Now, the square root of 2 may seem like an odd answer if we're looking for a distance. Like, I don't know how far square root of 2 miles is, right? But it is actually considered the most precise answer. So if you're good, you can stop watching here. And if you want to kind of see me walk you through it on the calculator, then you can stick around. All right, so this calculator is nice in that I can type in the entire thing and see all of it as I'm going. So I can just do like this. I have the square root, -2 plus 1. I hit the squared button, plus, next parentheses, 1 minus 0, close parentheses, and the squared button, and hit enter. And it takes me straight there, which is really nice, square root of 2. Or you could have done the in-between parts, well, -2 plus 1. Let's make sure that we have it right. Yeah, that's -1. Now, a key thing is that you want to make sure that you tell the calculator to square -1, not to square it and don't put parentheses. Remember when you were a little kid and you were like, you're not the boss of me? Well, you have to be the boss of the calculator, and you have to tell it to square the whole thing. If you just put in -1 squared, the calculator does not understand. It's clueless, right? It does not understand that you need to square the whole thing. And -1 times -1 is +1. And so we can see that this one is correct and this one is wrong because this one doesn't have the parentheses in it. So, all right. Well, I hope that's helpful. Oh, one last thing. So let me type in square root of 2 just so you can see it as a decimal. So that actually is about 1.4 miles or meters or centimeters or whatever it is that the units would be for this. So that number makes more sense. I can have in my mind how far 1.4 miles is. Square root of 2 miles is much harder for me to grasp, but it is the most exact answer, and therefore square root of 2 is usually how you'll see this written. You'll see it in what's called radical form. All right. Hope that helped you. We'll see you next time.